didn't earlier, because OBS is being a punk.
Why is old Alan call you
Another Urelli.
Yay!
No matter. Care for another
Who
pick
wants
of
the
contact?
magical girl Warframe?
Karma's coming back to Destiny 2! Woohoo! This is a good
That was a
win!
short-
It
that
was a short
short
love affair.
retirement.
I open sunshine.
Oh, I still need
Here
Urelli
we
Prime.
go.
Yeah,
Well, we're getting all of the Urelli Prime
Right.
relics.
we can help
Give you.
with that. Yeah, we have. I'm pretty sure I have a decent amount of
I have a lot of Urelli, I'm pretty sure. It could be Urelli time at any moment.
I may have bought it down back Horizon.
Did you just say you bought the Founder Pack for Rising?
Yeah.
For a game you consider mid?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's still Destiny.
Oh my god!
For a game you yourself rated as
Yeah, it's still Destiny, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to do raids with friends. That's the question of how it's
That'll
gonna
be fun.
The raids
That'll
will
be fun. I hope it works out.
which is gonna be like a week away.
just a week away.
Only a week.
They're doing it really weirdly. They're releasing the normal mode, and then a week later they'll release the contest mode.
Yeah,
Fun.
what are the odds that the contest mode isn't finished and they just rushed it out?
Highly likely.
Yeah. Moonquakes? What the fuck is this modifier?
Cleanse corpse. Shotgun.
Is the moon haunted?
Yes.
Pretzel.
The moon is always haunted.
How the fuck does the moon get earthquakes?
Well, it was tectonically active at one point.
At one point, yeah.
There
I
are
love that
plates.
I don't know, I'm gonna blame
Kel,
the
you
Oracle on this
absolutely
one.
are. You absolutely are going to beat it. We just have to get you through.
The longer we stick around, the more likely
B13, that is Velit.
with great stupidity comes great reward.
Oh no, Venato. I was
Venato.
wrong. I forgot
Hey.
there's more V's now.
Ow! Ah, sad days, sad days.
Shift is on. We kicked a cloud
Another one
car.
off the road.
Here we go.
And we want
Still holding.
Anytime.
There's a lot.
Yeah, level 75, probably getting a bit hot potential for DG. There we
Let's
go.
finish this one.
I still need
Yeah,
the
we
banana.
can.
If you say.
I still need all the weapons. I only got
Yeah.
all of them done.
I want the Vidaria Prime sniper way more than I want Caliban. Because I'm thinking of some good synergies for it with Gyre. But I need the sniper to actually test it. What? Gyre's fun.
No, Gaia.
Oh, fuck you.
I don't understand.
It's spelled Gyre.
Gyre. Like a razor gyre.
Oh, yeah.
Or like the meteorological
So
event,
keen
or
to make the sale, he didn't
yeah,
close
it's
any
Gyre.
back door. Greed makes a person
There we go.
sloppy, hot shot.
I'll bet all my DG coins on Kel beating grass with this some damage to spare. I won't take that bet because I think he absolutely will. I think it's just going to take a little bit of patience and figuring out damage
That's what the thing-
rotations.
I'm saying that he will be good.
Yeah, no, I know, and I don't take that bet because that would be me betting against Kel.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm not betting against him because he's definitely going to do it.
Alright, will we get a Caliban relic on this one? We will find out.
so nice this game actually plays.
Getting a little hot.
Oh,
Gloves are coming off.
7. No
Got another round
dice.
in ya?
Okay. Head to
Let's
the
leave
exit.
that. It's getting hot.
Yeah, we are. We're getting nothing here.
Berries.
Hey, on the bright side, I think this is more Axie relics than I usually have.
Wakey, wakey. Here we go.
Oh.
I'm always low on Axie relics for some reason.
We got as much as we're getting, Hotshot.
Yeah.
We are a vapor trail.
Everybody's here. Most. Some people.
He'll be here.
That's true. Okay. And then who won it in? Did we actually get people in the queue? No players in the queue. Well, actually. I might need to call it, folks, and go to story time soon.
Oh, good.
Wow.
God, I've gotten
Getting early
Gotten a
sleep
lot
for
of
you would be good.
a lot of credits tonight.
Can always do with more credits.
Yeah.
Oh, you're totally
How am I
fine,
gonna
PB. No worries.
How am I gonna rank up my mods without credits?
I don't know. Cool.
Oh, it needs a hot season then, I think.
Aw. My place is starting to look a little homey.
With a lot of rocks in it, just like a real
Mhm.
geologist's house.
It's to woo.
Dante, Frost, Gara, Grendel.
Cool. Let's do this.
No, you're making good progress, DG. Like, you're already
Yeah.
starting to get relic farming done, so that's cool.
Yes.
When the fuck did I get 3 Daikyu Prime lower limbs? Why do I have 3 of them?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yet
think.
another.
I have 4 low. Oops.
Wow, way to one up me. I have a full compressive Prime set. Nice.
Start. Oh. Everything that I currently have unlocked.
When in Cetus, do not
I
drink
think you can
the
get the Lex. I think that's MR3. Unless you
I
have that
have it.
mastered.
Yeah, I already have it.
Okay, good.
The
It's a
Lecta?
solid weapon.
So
Lex.
something...
Oh,
That one.
no, there it
The
is.
one to the right.
Yeah. You were saying?
that you can sort them to get rid of things you have and things that you've already completed. Mastery-wise.
I'd owned. I'd mastered. Okay, that glaive looks fun.
Which one? Just the glaive?
Just glaive?
Might be in the Nightwave shop right now.
I haven't checked in with a Nightwave.
Plasma sword, heat sword, pangolin sword.
Let me check up.
Always a pleasure.
Good. Nope, don't have enough.
You looking at the citrine helmet?
No, just generally looking.
Uh,
Yeah, she only has 5.
damn.
Chroma and Zephyr, thank God I have both of them.
Cool.
Where's that Corvex alt helmet? I've never seen that before.
Neat. A floof.
Growl's Kuberdon flu.
Atlas stuff looks cool too. Atlas is a neat frame.
He is
Roman
also a
Zephyr
rock
Prime
star.
Resurgence tomorrow? Ooh, that's exciting.
That's all we have time
Oh,
for.
Maybe you
really?
didn't get anything that you needed, right? We could do one more round. Actually, no, I think we'll go
No,
ahead
you
and
should
we'll
sleep.
call it here, and I will go switch over to story time. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for hanging out with me.
Yeah, no problem.
It's
It was
always
fun.
fun. Thank you for letting me be here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm gonna drop out of EC.
Gonna do the same. It's like 1 o'clock. I should probably sleep.
Perfect. All right, bon voyage.
Yeah, good night.
Right.
Bye. Thanks, PB. I appreciate it. I'm sorry we didn't get you the thing. And then I owe Shen and who else? It was Shen. I owe some people some runs. Oh, Twisty, Abby, and Shen. Next time I play will probably be on. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. It'll probably be. Let me check my schedule. Are we doing Warframe Sunday this week? I can't remember. And I'm no longer in the call with my mods. Saturday. Oh yeah, we can do a Warframe Sunday, and New Game Friday. So maybe we'll do Soulframe Friday or something. But yeah, so Sunday, if you're around, we can run it again. If you ever do want to join, I'm gonna put this in the chat in quotations. But we have a join queue command where you can join up to play in game when I'm running with viewers. We would love to play with you. More Warframe is always good. Ooh, immunology revision. Oh, thank you, thank you. Are you doing primary immunology or secondary, like immune deficiency stuff? I swear I'm not addicted. Diana, I love this play-by-play. Keep it coming. Big G. I'm not in autoimmunity. Nice. Are you specializing in anything in particular, or is it just broad autoimmunity? That's epic. Thank you for that. Oh, gracious. Okay, so I'm gonna switch music first because this jazz channel has been kind of all over the place. It's fine. Not the best. Take it or leave it. So hi everybody, welcome in. It's good to see you. I am so glad that you are here, and thank you for the hydrate nano. I did just take a drink. This baby Tenno got a Caliban. I'm so excited. Let's double check, see if there's anything else that I need to get going on. I guess I could make the owl. Gonna go. Have a good night. Good night, PB. And I guess I could make the boar. Might as well. Ready to build. Yippee! What is the Dragoon Black Cannon? That's cool. I guess I could get started on Hildren. What else do we have down here? Might as well. We'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll start this guy. See what else we can get going. Let's do this one. And call it there. Oh, cool. Love to see it, folks. Love to see it. No, super fun. So, for those of you that don't know me yet, I'm DG, Disappointing Guardian. I'm a later in life and new gamer. I've only been playing video games, period, since November. And I'm about 34, 35 hours into Warframe. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot. Found a great crew and squad to run around with, and I am so incredibly grateful to all of them. Everything that you see on the channel is made for the community um, and by community vote. So we have a fishing game. You're more than welcome to hop in there anytime you want and go fishing. Here's the directions if you want to learn how that one works. All of the commands are also listed on the About page. And every single month, the community picks a different fundraiser to run. This month, we're supporting the Bungie Foundation. If you're interested in learning how that foundation works, we're specifically supporting the Pediatric Patients Therapeutic Entertainment Program through Bungee Love, where they're going around the country in the US and equipping, I guess they're probably global at this point, but they go into children's hospitals or pediatric wards and make sure that kids have all of the things that make them feel like they're at home when they're in the hospital for an extended period of time. And if you've ever been sick and away from home for an extended period of time, then you know how bad it sucks to not have a semblance of comfort. And pediatric wards are chronically underfunded, shockingly, in the US, despite all of the kind of publicity that we put out there. So I would love to see us hit our goal. I am matching our contribution personally this month up to 150. So I'm going to double our contribution when we hit it. If you're not able to give, I would love for you to spread the word. Just send your friends here. And if you decide to make a donation, not through the drive that we're running here, but you do make a donation, send me a whisper or send us a message in our Discord, and I will include that in the count for when I donate at the end of the month. So there's that. The other thing is we have a very, very active Wordle community in that Discord, as well as a thriving Destiny 2 LFG. And I guess we're going to start doing some build advice for Warframe now that we have some folks showing up from the Warframe side of things. So if those are things that are of interest to you, if there are other games, we're adding Magic the Gathering on Sunday this week. So we're going to do a Magic the Gathering stream where I'm going to learn Magic. And then after that, we're going to be running probably bi-weekly Commander game play on a rotating schedule for folks. Subs to the channel also every weekend get a rotating schedule of coffee with DG. This week we are doing Sweet Dreams, Katie, Sweet Dreams, Sweet Dreams. This week we are going to be doing US time zones. So if you're a sub, or if you are a Prime sub, or if you were gifted a sub, make sure to join the Discord. Link your Twitch to the Discord, and you will get auto assigned the role and you can participate. We hang out in a voice call and just do all kinds of goofy stuff. People show stuff on their screen. I give previews of stuff that I've been working on for the channel, including outfits and dances and all of those things. So, yeah, we would love to have you. Let me go ahead and exit out. Maybe not. Oh my goodness, I got a hug. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the hug, Katie. Here, I'll pass it back and we can pay it forward. Okay, so I think that's all the news that's fit to print. The final thing that we do as a community is at the end of every stream, I read us a story. We just finished Journey to the Center of the Earth. So now we're going to be switching over to Frankenstein. So we'll be starting that tonight by Mary Shelley. Very exciting. So let me make sure I change everything over to just chatting and we will get going. Awesome. Did I get the anvil dropped on my head? Just being a menace, I suppose. All right. So Everybody, good evening. Are we going to hang out here tonight or are we going to go over to the library for story time? Do we have a preference? You like dropping anvils? I am a coyote after all. Anvils seem to find my head. If we don't have a preference, then I will head back. That you were like an ocelot? No, I'm a coyote. I'm a coyote. Ocelot would have been a good choice though. Okay. So, hi. Let's get cozy, shall we? So go ahead and get settled in, get nice and comfy. If you have a blanket or a lovey or a stuffed animal or a significant other or a pet that you like to hold and listen to story time, then do that. If you're using me as a podcast in the background, then enjoy this actual storytelling time. Hang on, I'm going to stand up for the next half hour. And then I will raid us back out and find another war farmer or baby Tenno that we can go support and show some love to. Hey, hi. So, Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. Letter 1. To Mrs. Seville, England, St. Petersburg, December 11th, 17. You will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil forebodings. I arrived here yesterday, and my first task is to assure my dear sister of my welfare and increasing confidence in the success of my undertaking. I am already far north of London, and as I walk in the streets of St. Petersburg, I feel a cold northern breeze playing upon my cheeks, which braces my nerves and fills me with delight. Do you understand this feeling, this breeze which has traveled from the regions toward which I am advancing? It gives me a foretaste of those icy climes. Inspirited by this wind of promise, my daydream become more fervent and vivid. I try in vain to be persuaded that the pole is the seat of frost and desolation. If it ever presents itself to my imagination as the region of beauty and delight, there, Margaret, the sun is forever visible, its broad disk just skirting the horizon and diffusing a perpetual splendor. There, for with your leave, my sister, I will put some trust in preceding navigators. There snow and frost are banished, and sailing over a calm sea, we may be wafted to a land surpassing in wonders and in beauty every region hitherto discovered on the inhabitable globe. Its productions and features may be without example, as the phenomenon of the heavenly bodies undoubtedly are in those undiscovered solitudes. What may not be expected in a country of eternal light? I may there discover the wondrous power which attracts the needle, and may regulate 1,000 celestial observations that require only this voyage to render their seeming eccentricities consistent forever. I shall satiate my ardent curiosity with the sight of a part of the world never before visited, and may tread a land never before imprinted by the foot of man. These are my enticements, and they are sufficient to conquer all fear of danger or death, and to induce me to commence this laborious voyage with the joy of a child, with the joy of a child who feels when he embarks in a little boat with his holiday mates on an expedition of discovery up his native river. But supposing all these conjectures to be false, you cannot contest the inestimable benefit which I shall confer on all mankind to the last generation, By discovering a passage near the pole to those countries to which at present so many months are requisite, or by ascertaining the secret of a magnet which, if at all possible, could only be effected by an undertaking such as mine. These reflections have dispelled the agitation with which I began my letter, and I feel my heart glow with an enthusiasm which elevates me to the heavens, for nothing contributes so much to tranquilize the mind as a steady purpose, a point on which the soul may fix its intellectual eye. This expedition has been the favorite dream of my early years. I have read with ardor the accounts of various voyages which have been made in the prospect of arriving at the North Pacific Ocean through the seas which surround the pole. Now you may remember that a history of all voyages made for purposes of discovery composed the whole of our good Uncle Thomas's library. Now my education was neglected, yet I was passionately fond of reading. These volumes were my study day and night, and my familiarity with them increased that regret which I had felt as a child on learning that my father's dying injuncture had forbidden my uncle to allow me to embark in a seafaring life. These visions faded when I perused for the first time the poets whose effusions entranced my soul and lifted it to heaven. I also became a poet, and for 1 year lived in paradise of my own creation. I imagined that I might also obtain a niche in the temple where the names of Homer and Shakespeare are consecrated. You are well acquainted with my failure and how heavily I bore that awful disappointment. But just at that time I inherited the fortune of my cousin, and my thoughts returned into the channel of our earlier bent. Now 6 years have passed since I resolved on my present undertaking. I can even now remember the hour from which I dedicated myself to this great enterprise. I commenced by inuring my body to hardship. I accompanied the whale fishers on several expeditions to the North Sea. I voluntarily endured cold, famine, thirst, and want of sleep. I often worked harder than the common sailors during the day and devoted my nights to the study of mathematics, the theory of medicine, and those branches of physical science from which a naval adventurer might derive the greatest practical advantage. Twice I actually hired myself as an undermate in a Greenland whaler and acquitted myself to admiration. I must own I felt a little proud when my captain offered me the second dignity in the vessel and entreated me to remain with the greatest earnestness. So valuable did he consider my services. And now, dear Margaret, do I not deserve to accomplish some great purpose? My life might have been passed in ease and luxury, but I preferred glory to every enticement that wealth placed in my path. Oh, that some encouraging voice would answer in the affirmative, Margaret. My courage and my resolution is firm, but my hopes fluctuate, and my spirits, well, they're often depressed. I am about to proceed on a long and a difficult journey, the emergencies of which will demand all of my fortitude. I am required not only to raise the spirits of others, but sometimes to sustain my own when theirs are failing. This is the most favorable period for traveling in Russia. They fly quickly over the snow in their sledges. The motion is pleasant and, in my opinion, far more agreeable than that of an English stagecoach. The cold is not excessive if you are wrapped in furs. A dress, which I have already adopted, for there is a great difference between walking the deck and remaining seated and motionless for hours when no exercise prevents the blood from actually freezing in your veins, Margaret. I have no ambition to lose my life on the post road between St. Petersburg and Archangel. Now I shall depart for the latter town in a fortnight or 3 weeks, and my intention is to hire a ship there, which can easily be done by paying the insurance for the owner, and to engage as many sailors as I think necessary among those who are accustomed to the whale fishing. I do not intend to sail until the month of June, and when shall I return? Oh, dear sister, how can I answer this question? If I were to succeed, many, many months, perhaps years, will have to pass before you and I may meet again. If I fail, you will meet me again soon or never. Farewell, my dear, excellent Margaret. Heaven shower down blessings on you and save me, that I may again and again testify my gratitude for your love and kindness. Your affectionate brother, R. Walton. Chapter 2, Letter to Mrs. Seville, England. Archangel, 28th of March, 17. Hey, Keiki, we're on story time. We're doing, we just started Frankenstein. Oh, how slowly the time passes here, encompassed as I am by frost and snow. Yet a second step is taken towards my enterprise. I have hired a vessel and am accompanied and occupied in collecting my sailors. Oh, thank you so much, Keiki. I have hired a vessel and I am occupied in collecting my sailors. Those whom I have already engaged appear to be men on whom I can depend, and are certainly possessed of dauntless courage. But I have one want which I have never been able to satisfy, and the absence of the object of which I now feel as the most severe evil. You see, I have no friend, Margaret. When I am glowing with the enthusiasm of success, there will be none to participate in my joy. If I am assailed by disappointment, no one will endeavor to sustain me in dejection. I shall commit my thoughts to paper, it is true, but that is a poor medium for communication of a feeling. I desire the company of a man who could sympathize with me, whose eyes could reply to mine. You may deem me romantic, my dear sister, but I bitterly feel the want of a friend. I have no one near me, gentle yet courageous, possessed of a cultivated as well as a capacious mind, whose tastes are like my own to approve or amend my plans. How would such a friend repair the faults of your poor younger brother? I am too ardent in execution and too impatient of difficulties. But it is still greater evil to me that I am self-educated. For the first 14 years of my life I ran wild on a common and read nothing but our Uncle Thomas's books of voyages. And at that age, I became acquainted with the celebrated poets of our own country. But it was only when it had ceased to be in my power to derive its most important benefits from such a conviction that I perceived the necessity of becoming acquainted with more languages than that of my native country. And now, well, I'm 28 years old, and I am in reality more illiterate than many schoolboys of 15. Now, it is true that I have thought more and that my daydreams are more extended and magnificent. But they want, as the painters call it, keeping. And I greatly need a friend who would have a sense enough not to despise me as a romantic, and affection enough for me to endeavor to regulate my mind. Well, Margaret, these are useless complaints. I shall certainly find no friend on the wide ocean, nor even here in Archangel, among merchants and seamen. Yet some feelings, unallied to the dross of human nature, beat even in these rugged bosoms. My lieutenant, for instance, is a man of wonderful courage and enterprise. He is madly desirous of glory, or rather, to word my phrase more characteristically, of advancement in his profession. Now, he is a red blooded Englishman, and in the midst of national and professional prejudices, unsoftened by cultivation, retains some of the noblest endowments of humanity. I first became acquainted with him on board a whale vessel. Finding that he was unemployed in the city, I easily engaged him to assist in my enterprises. The master is a person of excellent disposition, and is remarkable in the ship for his gentleness and the mildness of his discipline. Now, this circumstance, added to his well known integrity and dauntless courage, made me very desirous to engage him. A youth passed in solitude, my best years spent under your gentle and feminine fosterage, has so refined the groundwork of my character that I cannot overcome an intense distaste for the usual brutality exercised on board ship. I have never believed it to be a necessity, and when I heard of a mariner equally noted for his kindliness of heart, and the respect and obedience paid to him by his crew, I felt myself peculiarly fortunate in being able to secure his services. I heard of him first in rather a romantic manner from a lady who owes to him the happiness of her life. This, briefly, dear sister, is his story. Now, some years ago, he loved a young Russian lady of moderate fortune, and having amassed a considerable sum in prize money, the father of the girl consented to the match. Now, he saw his mistress once before the destined ceremony, but she was bathed in tears, and throwing herself at his feet, entreated him to spare her, confessing at the same time that she loved another and that he was poor, and that her father would never consent to the union. Now, my generous friend, rest assured, the suppliant, and on being informed of the name of her lover, instantly abandoned his pursuit. He had already bought a farm with his money on which he had designed to pass the remainder of his life, but he disposed of the whole on his arrival, together with the remains of the prize money to purchase stock, and then he himself solicited the young woman's father to consent to her marriage with her lover. But the old man decidedly refused, thinking himself bound in honor to my friend, who, when he found the father inexorable, quitted his country, nor returned until he heard that his former mistress was married according to her inclinations. What a notable fellow, you will exclaim. Now he is so. But then he is wholly uneducated. He is as silent as a Turk, and a kind of ignorant carelessness attends him, which, while it renders his conduct the more astonishing, detracts from the interest and sympathy which otherwise he would command. Yet do not suppose, because I complain a little, or because I can conceive a consolation for my toils which I may never know, that I am wavering in my resolution. Those are as fixed as fate, dear sister, and my voyage is only now delayed until the weather shall permit my embarkation. The winter has been dreadfully severe, but the spring promises well, and it is considered as remarkably early a season, so perhaps I may sail sooner than I expect. I shall do nothing rashly, I promise, You know me sufficiently to confide in my prudence and considerateness whenever the safety of others is committed to my care. I cannot describe to you my sensations on the near prospect of my undertaking. It's it's impossible to communicate to you a conception of the trembling sensation, half pleasurable and half fearful, with which I am preparing to depart. I am going to unexplored regions, to the land of mist and snow. But I shall kill no albatross. Therefore, do not be alarmed for my safety, or if I shall come back to you as worn and woeful as the ancient mariner. You will smile at my illusion, but I will disclose a secret. I have often attributed my attachment to, my passionate enthusiasm for, the dangerous mysteries of the ocean to that production of the most imaginative of modern poets. There is something at work in my soul which I cannot comprehend, sister. I am practically industrious, painstaking, a workman to execute the perseverance and labor with which I do. But besides this, there is a love for the marvelous, a belief, a belief in that marvelous intertwined in all of my projects, which hurries me out of the common pathway of men and even into the wild sea and unvisited regions I am about to explore. But never mind. To return to dearer considerations, shall I meet you again after having traversed immense seas and returned by the most southern cape of Africa or even America? Oh, I do not expect such success. Yet I cannot bear to look on the reverse of the picture. Continue for the present to write to me by every opportunity. I may receive your stories on some occasion when I need them most to support my spirits. Oh, I love you very tenderly, sister. Remember me with affection, should you never hear from me again. Your affectionate brother, Robert Walden. Letter 3 to Mrs. Saville, England, July 7th, 17. My dear sister, I write a few lines in haste to say that I am safe and well advanced in my voyage. This letter will reach England by a merchantman now on its homeward voyage from Archangel, more fortunate than I, who may never see my native land, perhaps for many years. I am, however, in very good spirits. My men are bold and apparently firm of purpose, nor do the floating sheets of ice that continually pass us, indicating the dangers of the regions toward which we are advancing, appear to dismay them. We are already reached a very high latitude, but in the height of summer, and although not so warm as in England, the southern gales which blow us speedily towards those shores, which I so ardently desire to attain, breathe a degree of renovating warmth which I hadn't expected. No incidents have hitherto befallen us that would make a figure of the letter. One or two stiff gales and a springing of the leak are accidents which experienced navigators scarcely remember to record, but I shall be well content if nothing worse happens to us during our voyage. Adieu, my dear Margaret. Be assured that for my own sake as well as yours, I will not rashly encounter danger. I will be cool, persevering, and prudent. But success shall crown my endeavors. Wherefore not? Thus far I have gone tracing a secure way over the pathless seas, the very stars themselves being witness and testimonies of my triumph. Why not still proceed over the untamed and yet obedient element? What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of a man? My swelling heart involuntarily pours itself out thus, but I must finish. Heaven bless my beloved sister, R.W. Okay, we'll read one more. Letter 4 to Mrs. Seville, England, August 5th, 17. So strange an accident has happened to us that I cannot forbear recording it, although it is very probable that you will see me before these papers can come into your possession. Last Monday, July 31st, we were nearly surrounded by ice, which closed in on the ship on all sides. A crush, the mariners called it, scarcely leaving her the sea room in which she floated. Now, our situation was somewhat dangerous, especially as we were compassed round by a very thick fog. We accordingly lay to, hoping that some change might take place in the atmosphere and weather. About 2 o'clock, the mists cleared away, and we beheld, outstretched out in every direction, vast and irregular plains of ice which seemed to have no end. Some of my comrades groaned, and of my mind, my own mind, it began to grow watchful with anxious thoughts, when a strange sight suddenly attracted our attention and diverted our solicitude from our own situation. Now we perceived a low carriage, fixed on a sledge and drawn by dogs, pass on towards the north at a distance of about half a mile. A being, which had the shape of a man but apparently of gigantic stature, sat in the sledge and guided the dogs. We watched the rapid progress of the traveler with our telescopes until he was lost amongst the distant inequalities of ice. Now, this appearance excited our unqualified wonder. We were, as we believed, many hundred miles from any land. But this apparition seemed to denote that it was not. In reality, we were not so distant as we had supposed. Shut in, however, by ice, it was simply impossible to follow his track, which we had observed with the greatest attention. About 2 hours after this occurrence, we heard the ground sea, and before the night, the ice broke and freed our ship. We, however, lay to until the morning, fearing to encounter in the dark those large, loose masses which float about after breaking up of the ice. I profited from this time to rest for a few hours, and in the morning, however, as soon as it was light, I went about deck and found all of the sailors busy on one side of the vessel, apparently talking to someone in the sea. It was, in fact, a sledge like the one we had seen before, which had drifted towards us in the night on a large fragment of ice. Only one dog remained alive, but there was a human being within it, whom the sailors were persuading to enter the vessel. He was not, as the other traveler seemed to be, a savage inhabitant of some undiscovered island, but a European. And when I appeared on deck, the master said, "Now here's our captain, and we will not allow you to perish in the open sea." Now, on perceiving me, the stranger addressed me in English, although with a foreign accent. "Before I come on board your vessel," said he, "will you have the kindness to inform me whither you are bound?" Now, you may conceive my astonishment on hearing such a question addressed to me from a man on the brink of destruction, and to whom I should have supposed that my vessel would have been a resource which he would not have exchanged for the most precious wealth the earth could have possibly afford. I replied, however, that we were on a voyage of discovery towards the northern pole. Upon hearing this, he appeared satisfied, and then he consented to come aboard. I mean, good God, Margaret, If you had seen the man who thus capitulated for his safety, your surprise would have been boundless. His limbs were nearly frozen, and his body dreadfully emaciated by fatigue and suffering. I never saw a man in so wretched a condition. Eh, We attempted to carry him into the cabin, but as soon as he had quitted the fresh air, he fainted. We accordingly brought him back to the deck and restored him to animation by rubbing him with brandy and forcing him to swallow a small quantity. As soon as he showed signs of life, we wrapped him in a blanket and placed him near the chimney of the stove. By slow degrees, he recovered and ate a little soup which restored him wonderfully. 2 days passed in this manner before he was able to speak, and I often feared that his suffering deprived him of understanding. When he had in some measure recovered, I removed him to my own cabin and attended on him as much as my duties would permit. I never saw a more interesting creature. His eyes, his eyes have a general expression of wildness or even madness. But there are moments when, if anyone performs an act of kindness towards him or does him any most trifling service, well, his whole countenance is lighted up, as it were with a beam of benevolence and sweetness. That I have never seen equaled. But he is generally melancholy and despairing, but sometimes he gnashes his teeth as if impatient of the weight of woes that oppresses him. When my guest was a little recovered, let's switch songs one more time. When my guest was little recovered, I had great trouble to keep off the men who wished to ask him 1,000 questions. Diana, what are we? Skin infections. Vengeance is a bitch. Oh, Diana, I'm glad you're having so much fun. When my guest was little recovered, I had great trouble to keep the men off, who wished to ask him 1,000 questions. But I would not allow him to be tormented by their idle curiosity in a state of body and mind whose restoration evidently depended upon entire repose. Once, however, the lieutenant asked why he had come so far upon the ice in so strange a vehicle. His countenance instantly assumed an aspect of deepest gloom, and he replied, "To seek the one who fled from me." And the man? And did the man whom you pursue to travel in the same fashion? Yes. Then I fancy we have seen him, for the day before we picked you up, we saw some dogs drawing a sledge with a man in it across the ice. Now this aroused the stranger's attention, and he asked a multitude of questions concerning the route which the daemon, as he called it, had pursued. Soon after, when he was alone with me, he said, "I have doubtless excited your curiosity, as well as that of the good people which we travel with. But you are too considerate to make inquiries." Well, certainly. It would indeed be very impertinent and inhumane in me to trouble you with any inquisitiveness of mine. And yet, you rescued me from strange and perilous situation. You have benevolently restored me to life. And soon after this, he inquired if I thought that the breaking up of the ice had destroyed the other sledge. I replied that I could not answer with any degree of certainty, for the ice had not broken up until midnight, and the traveler might have arrived at a place of safety before that time. But of this I could be no judge. And from this time a new spirit of life animated that decaying frame of the stranger. He manifested the greatest eagerness, to which to be upon deck to watch for the sledge which had before appeared. But I have persuaded him to remain in the cabin, for he is far too weak to sustain the rawness of the atmosphere, and I have promised that someone should watch for him and give him instant notice if any new object should appear in sight. Now, such is my journal of what relates to this strange occurrence up to the present day. The stranger has gradually improved of health, but is very silent and appears uneasy when anyone except myself enters his cabin. Yet, Margaret, his manners are so conciliating and gentle that the sailors are all interested in him, although they have had very little communication with him. And for my own part, I begin to love him as a brother, and for his constant and deep grief, it fills me with sympathy and compassion. He must have been a noble creature in his better days, before even now in wrecks so attractive and amiable. I said in one of my letters, my dear Margaret, that I should find no friend in the wide ocean. Yet, somehow, I have found a man who, before his spirit had been broken by misery, I should have been happy to have possessed as the brother of my heart. Now I shall continue my journal concerning the stranger at intervals, should I have any fresh incidents to recur. All right. Let's up. We have several more letters to go. How are we feeling, chat? Is everybody okay? Have we had a good time tonight with the warframing? I am so grateful for the farm and for the the uh the gifts. More ASMR, please. You want more story time? You guys want one more chapter? It's been great. Yes, it's nice and zen. Oh, I gotta hydrate. Okay, one more chapter. Una más. Okay. Almost done with my kid. One more book. Encore. You guys. Oh, you're so sweet to me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so lovely. An ASMR stream for me? I don't know that I can. I mean, give me ideas, and maybe we'll do that if we do a partner push. Maybe we'll incorporate that. Okay. August 13, 17. Oh, Margaret. My affection for my guest increases every day. He excites his wants. How many gift subs for an only DG Storytime ASMR stream? I don't know. Let's talk to mods about it. I think we could make it happen. We could definitely make it happen. If we wanted to do that, we could do we could set a stream goal of like 20 gift subs for a stream and then do a only DG Storytime ASMR stream. We could we could potentially do that. I am grinning because that is just the sweetest idea and so kind of all of you. Okay. He excites at once my admiration and my pity to an astonishing degree. How can I see so noble a creature destroyed by misery without feeling most poignant pain? He is so gentle. Oh, and yet he's so wise. His mind, it's so cultivated, and when he speaks, although his words are culled with the choicest art, yet they flow with rapidity and unparalleled eloquence. He is now much recovered from his illness and is continually on the deck, apparently watching for the sledge that preceded his own. Yet, Although unhappy, he is not yet so utterly occupied by his own misery that he interests himself deeply in the projects of others. He has frequently conversed with me on mine, which I have communicated to him without disguise. He entered attentively into all of my arguments in favor of my eventual success and into every minute detail of the measures I had taken to secure it. I was easily led by the sympathy which he evinced to use the language of my heart to give utterance to the burning ardor of my soul and to say, with all the fervor that warmed me, how gladly I would sacrifice my fortune, my existence, my every hope to the furtherance of my enterprise. One man's life or death were but a small price to pay for the acquirement of the knowledge which I sought, for the dominion I should acquire and transmit over the elemental foes of our race. And as I spoke, a deep gloom spread over my listener's countenance. At first, I perceived that he tried to suppress his emotion. He placed his hands before his eyes, and my voice quivered and failed me as I beheld tears trickle fast from between his fingers. A groan burst from his heaving breast, and I paused, and at length he spoke in a broken accent. Oh, unhappy man, do you share my madness? Have you drunk also of the intoxicating draught? Hear me. Oh, let me reveal my tale, and you will dash the cup from your lips. Now, such words, you may imagine, strongly excited my curiosity. But the paroxysm of grief that had seized the stranger overcame his weakened powers, and many hours of repose and tranquil conversation were necessary to restore his composure. Having conquered the violence of his feelings, he appeared to despise himself for being a slave of passion. He led me again to converse concerning myself personally. He asked me the history of my earlier years. The tale was quickly told, but it awakened various trains of reflection. I spoke of my desire of finding a friend, of my thirst for a more intimate sympathy with a fellow mind that had ever fallen to my lot, and expressed my conviction that a man could boast of little happiness who did not enjoy this blessing. Oh, I agree with you, replied the stranger. We are unfashioned creatures, but half made up, if one wiser, better, dearer than ourselves. Such a friend ought to be. Do not lend his aid to perfectionate our weak and faulty natures. I once had a friend, the most noble of human creatures, and am entitled, therefore, to judge respecting friendship. You have hope, the world before you, and you have no cause for despair. But oh, I have lost everything and cannot begin life anew. And as he said this, his countenance became expressive of a calm and settled grief that touched me to the heart. He was silent and presently retired to his cabin. Even broken in spirit as he is, no one can feel more deeply than he does the beauties of nature, the starry sky, the sea, and every sight afforded by these wonderful regions seems still to have the power of elevating his soul from earth. Such a man as he has a double existence. He may suffer misery and be overwhelmed by disappointment. Yet when he retired into himself, he will be like, ah, a celestial spirit that has a halo around him, within whose circle no grief or folly ventures. Will you smile at the enthusiasm I express concerning this divine wanderer? Now, you would not if you saw him. You have been tutored and refined by books and retirements from the world, but and you are therefore somewhat fastidious. But this only renders you the more fit to appreciate the extraordinary merits of this wonderful man. Sometimes I have endeavored to discover what quality it is which he possesses that elevates him so immeasurably above any other person I have ever known. I believe it to be an intuitive discernment, a quick and never failing power of judgment, a penetration into the causes of things unequaled for clarity and precision. Add to this a facility of expression and a voice whose varied intonations are soul subduing music. All right, folks, there we go. Let's leave it there for the night. We are, oh, actually, how many pages? Okay, here. We will finish the letters, and then tomorrow that'll let us start on the book. Um, if that's what you want, unless you're ready to stop. It is up to you. But I want to know more about the elegant man. Okay, we'll read the last letter before we jump into the story, okay? August 19th, 17. Yesterday, the stranger said to me, "You may easily perceive, Captain Walton, that I have suffered great and unparalleled misfortunes. I have determined at one time that the memory of these evils should die with me, but you have won me to alter my determination. You seek for knowledge and wisdom as I once did, and I ardently hope that the gratification of your wishes may not be a serpent to sting you as mine has been. I do not know that the relation of my disasters is useful to you, yet when I reflect that you are pursuing the same course, exposing yourself to the same dangers which have rendered me what I am, then I imagine that you may have deduced an apt moral from my tale, one that may direct you, if you succeed in your undertaking, and console you in case of failure. Perhaps prepare to hear of occurrences which are usually deemed marvelous. Were we among the tamer scenes of nature, I might fear to encounter your unbelief, perhaps even ridicule. But many things will appear possible in these wild and mysterious regions, which would provoke the laughter of those unacquainted, ever varied powers of nature. Nor can I doubt that my tale conveys in its series internal evidence of the truth of events of which it is composed. Now, you may easily imagine that I was much gratified by the offered communication, yet could not endure that he should renew his grief by a recital of his misfortunes, Margaret. I felt the greatest eagerness to hear the promised narrative, partly from curiosity, and partly from a strong desire to immemoriate his fate if it were in my power to. I expressed these feelings in my answer to him. Thank you, replied, for your sympathy, but it is useless. My fate is nearly fulfilled. I wait but for one event, and then I shall repose in peace. I understand your feeling, continued he, perceiving that I wished to interrupt him, but you are mistaken, sir. My friend, If thus you will allow me to name your such, nothing can alter my destiny. Now listen to my history, and you will perceive how irrevocably it has been determined. And then he told me that he would commence his narrative the next day when I should be at leisure. This promise drew from me the warmest thanks. I have resolved every night, when I am not imperatively occupied by my duties, to record, as nearly as possible in his own words, what he has related during the day. If I should be engaged, I will at least make notes. But to me, who know him and who hear it from his own lips, with what interest and sympathy shall I read it at some future day? Even now, as I commence my task, his full-toned voice swells in my ear. His lustrous eyes dwell on me with all their melancholy sweetness. I see his thin hand raised in animation, while the lineaments of his face are irradiated by the soul within. Strange and harrowing story, Mark. Fearful storm which embraced the gallant vessel on its course and wrecked it thus. Okay, there we go. Tomorrow, chapter 1. Right, everybody? I hope you had a wonderful evening. Hope you did enjoy it. I had a wonderful time hanging out with you. Perfect timing. Look at that. It all works out for a reason. Diana, did you finally eat? Is that why you have a hamburger? As if so, that makes me so happy. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. I'm so glad that you stuck around. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the that you enjoyed all of the reading and the warframing and all of those things. You are wonderful and spectacular, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, let's see. So do we want to go back to Warframe? Let's go see if we can find a baby Tenno. No, I'm not going to bully Diana. Have a good day, night, everybody. Thanks for the chill reading. And speaking one, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Please come back, hang out with us again soon, and we'll have some more fun. Um, Good night, sweet dreams. Of course. Um, how about uh Wednesday, we wear pink and we play Warframe. New streamer, neurodivergent friendly. Good vibes. Let's go check out Patty Cage TTV. I don't know them. They are new to me. But we're going to be polite and kind and thoughtful. And make sure that you join us tomorrow night for uh, Community Choice Thursday. Let me see what the poll currently is standing at. It looks like currently we have, wow, we have a landslide for Halo, or for Hollow Knight, not Halo, Hollow Knight. So it looks like we're going to be playing some Hollow Knight. Maybe we'll also add something else in there, like Resident Evil, or Resident Evil looks like it's the next one that's winning currently. But if you want to help shape the stream and you want to contribute, you can hop in that Discord and join us. All right. Ready? All right, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye. Now, don't forget, we have disappointing raids because I'm the disappointing guardian, and we are so glad that you have been here with us. Let's go support a pink warframer who is relic farming, And they have song request turned on. So this will be a good one. Can I tell Karma to lock the fuck in? Karma, lock the fuck in. There's one for the swear jar. All right, everybody. Have a good night. I will see you on the mark.